forgot we had that little clip. I was talking to myself for a couple of minutes there. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the brand new launch of Carnation Crafts. Every single month we bring you an exclusive and new launch here on Carnation Crafts TV, and this day has arrived. Already, I can tell you, since that little sneaky preview on Facebook last night that Carla did, already 30% of the entire collection has gone, and a third of another part of the collection has also gone, which I'll show you in a few seconds. What we're doing today is chasing the sun. Ain't that the truth? Chasing the sun at the moment.
Wish we were.
I know, absolutely. Well, you've got a chance to chase the sun here today. It's absolutely gorgeous. You're loving it. Obviously, the heart of any collection is the main card shape, which is this beautiful die set just here. Look at that, incredible. It's almost like a mandala or a doily, possibly. But that can be your background. It can be the foreground. It's entirely up to you how you use it. With the stunning archway dies as well, you can really create some jaw-dropping, stunning cards with this. And then, of course, you've got the florals. No card will be complete without a flower or two, and you've got plenty of them here with the pivot head florals, which are gorgeous. And again, you can put the heads onto the stems. You can build up your beautiful decoration and your display however you wish to. And then down the bottom, we've then got those beautiful tags, which are really, really handy and useful, gorgeous shaped tags. You've got our cute mice. Now, these are called Just Digging, and as you can see, they've been doing a little bit of digging, and they've been doing a little bit more digging. And then on the end there, you've got your garden finesse as well. So you've got the water bottle, you've got the twine, you've got the scissors, you've got the seed packets as well. So if you're into your gardening like my mum is, then this would be the perfect collection for you. Or if you love to give floral cards and that sort of thing as well, this is going to be a perfect collection. Now today, as you probably already know, but in case you don't, it's free P&P with Carnation Crafts until midday today, okay? So if it's maybe perfect papers you want to stock up on, if maybe it's the everyday glue that you need, maybe it's the everyday glue applicators, if it's something relatively small that you're trying to stock up on, remember you can get free postage on the Carnation Crafts website, carnationcrafts.co.uk until midday today. If you want this collection, obviously, normally if you spend over £50, you will get free P&P. Anyway, this collection today, you have to use the code to get the best price, okay? It should be $89.99. Actually, combined price normally will be $123.95, but we can let you have it today if you use this code CCCS10. CCCS10, that will give you 10% off, giving you that price that was on the screen a few minutes ago of only £80.99. Now, for a collection of this magnitude and with so much in it, that is an amazing price. Normally we expect maybe £100, maybe a bit more. Today, just over 80 for this, and you can of course use PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to, and you can also use ClearPay. Now PayPal Pay in 3 would make it $45.32. That's if you add in the planters and the papers, which we'll talk about in a minute. If you just want the PayPal Pay in 3 on this, then that's absolutely fine. Or with ClearPay, you can pay in 4 installments if you want to. Now the vignettes. So I'm just going to let you know the artwork, which all of you love to print off, obviously, to support the dies. That will be available on our website tomorrow. Okay, so that we don't overload the website. So tomorrow you can print off all that artwork completely free of charge for these dies, but the important thing is that you get the collection today before it sells out early, which is possibly on the cards. The other one that I was talking about is this here, which will work beautifully well with the collection. This is your pop-up planters, and this will allow you to create wonderful, wonderful extra dimensional cards like these, for example. How cool is that? So the planters are just a perfect addition to add onto your Chasing the Sun collection today. They are $39.99 as an extra. You can add that into your order if you just want these on their own, absolutely fine, $39.99 with free P&P, remember, until midday. It says $2.95 there, but it will be free P&P if you just order this individually up to midday today. After midday, the P&P comes back, okay? 230-807 if you want your pop-up planters. And of course, we have got the perfect papers as well available for you in colorways that complement the artwork on the vignettes. So they're available too, and they're only $14.99, and you get, as always, 48 A4 sheets in beautiful colorways with the wonderful pattern texture that's been printed on them as well. If we've never met before, I'm Dave Bradford. I pop along once a month to launch the new exclusive collection here, usually the second Monday of each month, which is where we are at the moment, and I'm not on my own. Hostess with the mostess.
How are you, David
Hey,
B?
Carla.
Are you all right, lovely?
Yeah, good to see you.
I don't know why I'm saying are you all right, because we've already had breakfast. I know he's okay. We've had breakfast. It was very nice as well, might I add. It is always lovely to have you here, Dave.
Great to have you here.
Always good to have a natter and a catch-up. I hope you're all really well at home. For Eileen, who was saying, Miss Taz, is your ear better?
Yes, thank you.
What's
She
wrong
said
with you
yes,
here?
thank you very much.
Oh.
She's not on mic today because we've got Dave here, so she'll be the quiet little voice in the corner that you have got used to, but obviously recently she's been mic'd up. Chasing the Sun, Mr. Davey B.
It's a gorgeous collection.
It's really beautiful. We're going to go through the boards and we're going to go to demo and have a look at what you can do with it. It is the most... I said it yesterday in the Facebook Live, there's something incredibly practical about this whole kit. It's just brilliant to have. Just a big good morning to all of you who are saying hello. There's a lot of you here. We'll come to comments as we go through the show, but let's have a kick off with the boards, see what you're getting, and then we can go from there. So we have got the gorgeous, gorgeous card. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that so pretty? Where you've got this sitting at the back, which is obviously this piece. Will work independently on its own, obviously. It is very, very delicate. If you want to use that just purely as a card on its own, I would advise you to cut it twice and glue the two together just so you've got the added support. It's designed to be the back of the card shape, which is here.
It works so well with the arch though, doesn't it?
I know, it's so perfect with that ray of sunshine coming over the top of it. It's beautiful. Now you get lots of nested dies with this collection, and that's because we've got card base, we've got mats and layers as we would expect, but then you get your aperture dies, and there's a special one here that goes across. You can see that then highlighted here. That forms a little shelf. You can have it either way, so you can have that top or the bottom of this piece. So you can form like a window with a shelf on it, and things like this can sit on it, or things like this can sit on it, depending what you want to do. So pretty. You've also got those two gorgeous sentiments as well, hello and love. Brilliant sentiments to have. Obviously, I love hello. I think that's such a great sentiment.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing, isn't it? Each one with a mat and layer as well. Following from that, you've got the pivot head florals.
Oh, wow.
These are incredible. These are so clever. So you build your own, and that means you've got things like the little bobble heads here. They're your pivot heads, and you can choose how to build your florals. So you put whichever floral you would like to have on there, and they're sort of... they don't pivot as in 360, but you can sort of shape them and move them to the positions that you want, because we've got mirrored vignettes at Carnation, which means we've got the image on both sides. That means that it doesn't matter which way the flowers turn, it doesn't matter how they're shaped, you will always be able to create with them, and from that we get things like this beautiful little box. Isn't it cute? But also from the back it then works that way as well, so you've got your little florals at the back, and that means we can build and shape. Thank you, Fiona, for that beautiful little box card. Amazing set of florals, right? Isn't it really gorgeous? And I can see in the future we may well get more colorways, we may get more florals to go with it, so we can really build. These I love. I talked to you yesterday about these. I love the shape. I think they're just so pretty, but on a practical level, what we've got here is literally every single shape or size that is usable within card making, as far as size is concerned, construction, composition, all of those things, because we can go from the very small to the much, much larger, and we get to be in control of that. It's really important that we have those sentiment holders that fit the card we're making, instead of trying to make, you know, the sentiment somehow, you know, we try and sort of force it in somewhere. We can choose now, and that's a really beautiful thing. From there we've got these, which I love. So you've got your water bottle spray, and that is a corker. You'll use that again and again. See the cut lines? Everything done and designed so we can sculpt and just work that through. It's brilliant. I love the ball of twine. Isn't that so lovely? Really cute. Then you've got your seed packets, and you've got your little scissors, your... what would you call them? Pruning scissors,
Pruning
I suppose.
snips, yeah.
Your
And Carnation always bring different aspects and different angles. Not many people would think of designing dies like this.
I know, right? Isn't it really
Yeah,
nice to have
quirky.
little unusual things? We're getting to the point where we've all got what we need. Look at these. They're little chaps. Aren't they so cute? So you've got one here that can be flinging mud all over the place.
Yep.
There's your little mud piles for him to be flinging and digging. It's called Just Keep Digging. And then you've got this little chap who looks a little bit perplexed. Or if you
He's
place
thinking,
him
"What the heck?"
behind, you place him behind, he could have a piece of mud falling onto him. There's a story to be told with those two mice, and they're super, super cute. We'll also say that these two would be perfect as well in hazy horizons and in coastal currents, because they could be digging in sand. So more than one way to play with the little meecies. So that is the main collection for Chasing the Sun, and it's absolutely gorgeous, right? There's something about Carnation, but it's not the only thing that we've got. We have got another piece, which is the pop-up planters, and these are extraordinary. And this It's not part of the main collection, but man alive.
Well, if you can afford it, go for that as well, because it will make your Chasing the Sun collection go that much further.
Look at these.
Versatility.
Now, if you're just buying this on your own, I advise you to get it this morning because you've got free P&P until lunchtime.
Yep.
So my advice, look at them. Isn't that just
The
extraordinary?
dimension you can create with that.
Sorry, Taz, just to look at that.
Look at that. Fab. It's up to you how many flowers you put in there, but you can put loads in.
So good, so good. You're just going to have so much fun with this because we can create the most gorgeous dimensional boxes that come through, so we can add and add and add. Now, where you look at this, and it's got obviously more layers added to it, those are these pieces here. You can see the score lines on them. They allow us to add in an extra layer. You can see where they've been glued, and we can then add florals to them, and you get to create the most beautiful box cards. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Incredible. And still fold flat for postage.
Now, bearing in mind a lot of you probably will want to go for the pop-up planters as well as Chasing the Sun, and probably most of you will want to go for the perfect papers as well at the same time. If you chose to do that, that would be $135.97, but do remember to use the code CCCS10. It will then be available on PayPal Pay in 3. That will make it $45.32 your first payment of 3, or on ClearPay $33.99 your first payment of 4 with ClearPay. That's if you want to go for everything. I've got to quickly give a big heads up and a thank you to the design team who always deliver over and above. Vera Bow has done this one. Let's give you some ideas as to how you can use this collection and what you can do with it. And the little mice are up to no good. They're actually in the planter. Yep, they're in there with their dirt. Vera Bow's done this one as well, just using those 3 stunning simple flowers in one of the pots with that archway background. Using that doily, if I can call it that. This one's been done by Pam Simpson. Nice one, Pam. I mean, that doily around the arch is just the perfect addition. And look at this for stunning, stunning card making. Janine Dawson has done that one. Isn't that just amazing? And again, you've got that 3-dimensional planter on the front there that really makes the whole thing come to life and makes it pop. One more quickly. This is from Barbara Trebwell. Hi, Barbara. Beautiful. I wonder what the conversation is between those two. Who's in the right, who's in the wrong? So 230801. Remember, today until midday, Carnation have had free P&P over the weekend. It ends at midday today, so literally in about 2 3/4 hours, get all your orders placed before midday to get that free postage. If it's just extra perfect papers, for example, or if you just want to go for the pop-up planters on their own, or anything else, glue, anything else that you're running out of, cut tidy, things like that. Applicator, glue applicators, pop them in your basket and check out before midday. You won't pay any postage at all. Okay, so that's the collection. Now to demo.
That was so smooth, Dave.
Was it?
That was really smooth.
Not bad for the first show of the day.
Because we've had about 16 coffees this
I know.
morning. So let's
caffeine.
we are running on the fuel. We've got this gorgeous card shape here, and it's just really, really lovely. Look how pretty it is, and see how we've got the different elements where we can cut it out. There's also extra dies that come in this set, which allow us to cut round at the bottom. We can use it independently, or you can use the little piece at the bottom. It's got these score lines.
I'm just thinking you could maybe use that as a Christmas card as well.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? As a snowflake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. Lorraine is saying, I can't find the vignettes. Am I looking in the wrong place? No, you're not looking in the wrong place. They're not going live until tomorrow. That's to give everybody a fair crack at the whip at getting the collection. You can't get the dies until tomorrow anyway, so they'll put them on for you all tomorrow morning. So you've got this card shape here, and you've got the 2 score lines at the side. Now we can do different things with the score lines. You can fold them backwards, which obviously will allow you to sort of sit it, but the real reason for these is when we fold them forward and we fold that down, it creates a box
like
shape.
a concertina, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. It sort of sits like so, okay? And that's that box shape. So if we were to use the archway on this, we would put some red liner tape here, and you would put your archway, which fits perfectly on there. I'm going to use mine with some boxes for this one, and we've got so many demos, and so as we go through, you'll see lots of different ways of playing with this card shape. But one of the things I want to talk about is the pop-up planters, because they're just incredible. Now these ones come like this. That's how they look, and we're going to use 2 to create the box. And again, different ways of playing. It depends how you want to do it. So if we turn this one this way, you've got choices. We can either fold that back. It depends how wide you want it on your card, and we could glue those 2 together and use that to stick to the card itself, or which is sort of the more efficient way, I suppose, of doing it, is to have it done, so let me fold, as a full box. So that would be a case of putting those two together. I'm hoping you can see this on the overhead, and putting that one together, and that creates that full box.
Can I just say, May Bryan on Facebook, hello May, good morning. She says CCCS10 is that discount code. It is, but I think you're putting it in lowercase. It has to be capital letters, and then that should work for you, okay, just in case you're having any trouble with that. CCCS10, capital letters, that gets you the 10% off.
And if you're still having problems, please do always feel free to just email Carnation at customerservices@carnationcrafts.co.uk. So small amounts of glue on this one first, and I'm just going to make sure that is lined up and just place so that it sits in its box form. You could use red liner if you wanted. It doesn't matter either way. I'm just using wet glue for the sake of demo so you can see what I'm doing.
Loads of you on Facebook this morning. Hello to all of you. Hello to Jane Latos, Karen Vincent, Susan Ray, Eileen Gill-Martin, Jan Bird, Diane Hoddington. Lots of you saying you ordered it last night, which is good news, but you can still get hold of it this morning. 30% of it went last night, and a third of the pop-up planters went as well yesterday.
It is unsurprising. Right, so now that I've got my box made and I've got my card base as such, my beautiful sunlight, I've got to make a choice here. This is smaller than the card base. So what I can do is fold that in so I've got the little elements sitting, and that's going to allow me to place things on either side. I could glue things right there if I wanted to. Alternatively, I can just use a pair of scissors and I can snip them off, which is what I'm going to do for this one. So just taking this here. A few of you are having a problem with the code. Carnation, I'm sure, will look at that for us. I do believe it should be working, but they will look. So I'm just snipping and placing through. Now I'm going to stick the box down. Now we could use red liner again. In fact, I probably will use red liner just for the sake of it. The great thing about the box is it folds flat, because obviously we need it to be flat for postage, which means you can put your red liner on really simply just at the back here. Just let me find the end to it. Oh, Dave.
Uh-oh. I tell you what, lots of you are saying that you've been asking for box cards, so thank you, Carnation. That's really good to know that you've wanted what we're actually giving you here today. Getting very busy for it as well, by the way. It's
because Nick's a little legend.
He is. Yep, they all are.
We'll keep him. Right, let's take that. Hey up. And we're just going to...
Pauline Ellington says, morning all, watching while having breakfast before walking Willow the dog on this beautiful sunny morning.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it does. You can always take us with you on the phone. Late to the party, but here now. That's Carol Hart. Hi, Carol.
Hey up, Carol.
Massive response on Facebook today.
Yeah, huge. Right, let's have a look. So I've got that pinned down. I've got the two little pieces at the side. I can choose to cover them, or I can choose to work with that as white space. It doesn't matter either way. You get to play, right? That's the whole point. Now we get to work in layers here. If I wanted to add another box, by the way, I absolutely could, or I could use those pieces with the score lines to, you know, elongate and have more layers on the inside of it. As it stands, I'm just going to use it the way it is. Now, where it comes to your mud line here, we've got some mud. Always nice to have a pile of mud, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you can place it right at the front here. Now, I know that's difficult to show so much, or you can place it at the back. You could do it on your layers. Now, if you place it at the front, it gives this really beautiful visual cue, and it allows you to put things behind, which gives you like a perspective piece. So when we're using the mice, that becomes super, super helpful. So I'm just going to measure that out to where I want it.
I'm just thinking, what other craft company would give you a pile of mud? It's all about realism.
It is. And they do it so well.
They do it so well.
So just snip in that so I can get my line. And I'm just going to go through. So I'm taking my adhesive and I'm going to place it at the bottom of the mud, because I obviously want the top to poke up. So I'm just placing right at the bottom here. And then I'm going to take it, place it, hold it, and get it to that pinching point, just like so. Okay?
Perfect.
Look how cute that is already.
Yep.
Look, it's just beyond sweet. Now, these florals that we've got, I just want to show you them. They're so clever and so beautiful. So you've got your little pivot heads on them, and we get to choose how to play. So we can build any which way we want. Now, I'm going to use this one for my, Is that what flower is that? Sunflower?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that. It could be a daisy, maybe.
I
or
think
dahlia.
it's the blind leading the blind, Dave.
I think it is a bit.
Right, let's just pop a little
I'll tell
bit
you what,
on
though,
here.
these are the sort of flowers that I could grow.
These are sort of weeds that grow in my garden. I've just pruned
I'm not very
my tree.
green-fingered, but when it comes to paper flowers, I'm okay.
I've just pruned my tree, haven't I, Dave?
Oh, you have, yeah. You
So,
can actually see the sky now in your garden.
I know, first time in a long time. Looks quite fancy. So we're just going to place little amounts, just lining through, and see how you can place them wherever you want, whichever way you want. I love that so much. Just the fact that we have got our control.
Yeah, you're putting your own stamp on it. You put whatever flower head you want to on whatever stem, put as many or as little in the pots or in the actual planters that you want. So everyone's creation will be different.
And we go there and there.
Yep.
So then we've got the little flowers, and I'm just going to put a few onto here. So just little bits onto these little buds, not too many. I'm just going to put a little hint of colour. So where I've got these, I'm just going to place through. And it's my world, so I'm going to have two different florals on the same.
And also it's important to point out that the smaller flower heads, they're not tiny little individual dies. You've got one big die that will cut out, it looks like about 20 in one go.
Oh, they're really good for doing that. Carnation are really good for doing that. They are, because there's nothing more frustrating.
Oh, I know. Well, for a start, I'd end up losing the dies anyway, but the fact that it will take you so long to cut them all out, the fact you can cut 20 in one pass, and the actual vignettes will be all one as well.
Perfect. Look at these florals. Aren't they so beautiful?
Yeah.
Really cute, right? There's a really, really lovely, lovely thing about them. So now I've got my card base, which is standard. I will lay it down for you in a second, but I now get to choose height-wise, where do I want my florals to be? So I've got to choose, I've got to make a choice. Do I want them to be at the back of the card or the front? Where am I going for perspective? Where am I going for foreground? Where am I going for background? So is it, you know, you've got the two different placements here. So we've got the back and the front here. It's just going to work through. There's lots of you saying that you can't get the code to work, so okay. I'm hoping Carnation are having a look at that for us, and we'll keep you posted. Okay, but do remember, if you're struggling, you can use the newsletter code if the CCCS10 isn't working. So if you've got that, you can use that, and lots of you say you have been using that and it's fine. Failing that, you can always just drop a little email to customerservices@carnationcrafts.co.uk and they'll be able to help you. But we'll keep you posted if we hear that there's a glitch or something, we'll let you know. But keep on trying. So we're just going through with this. I've placed obviously the yellows at the front. I'm going to place the pinks at the back. I'm just putting tiny amounts of glue on. You don't need much. Place this through at the back so I'm getting a different perspective. I've got front, foreground and background. And obviously mine are lying down at the minute, so you won't get quite the visual. But when it stands, you get sort of the placement back and front there. So you can see this one sits back, this one sits forward. And as it's 3D, as I fold this and go through, you can see the same from the back, which is the mirrored vignettes, which is just fantastic, isn't it? Because you get that beautiful shaping and gorgeous, gorgeous dimension. Now you can go in with a ball tool with these as well, and you can shape them all out and sculpt them obviously too, which is a really nice thing to do. I'm going to shape out my plant pot because I want that to have some oomph, and I'm going to shape out some of my other elements here. So I've got my plant pot, I've got my two little mice, and I've got my water bottle, and they're the things that I'm going to shape. So let's find some appropriate ball tools. And they'll be on our website. Remember, free P&P for your ball tools as well, up to 12 o'clock today. So only a couple of hours to go until the P&P goes back on. So your plant pot has got two pips, well essentially it's got 4 pips, but 2 that we're going to sort of focus on, the 2 midline ones. And so if I do that, you can see the 2 midline pips there. And that is obviously to help us sculpt, because we've broken the fibres in the paper. You could obviously just use the little pot if you wanted to take the lid off. But what that means is, because it lowers my surface area of uncut paper, I've got more playway. So the first thing I'm going to do is the rim of the pot. So I'm just going to work through. And I'm going to curl that first. What that's going to do is manipulate the rest. It'll start to make it rise just by nature, really. But then what I'm going to do first, take your ball tool and run it down the edges, along the bottom and up. So that's the first point of play.
Good news, everyone. The code is now working, evidently. If there was a problem, you couldn't get the code to work, now it should be fine. CCCS10, that's all capital letters, okay? CCCS10, that should now work to get you 10% off, to get it for £80.99.
So now I'm just burnishing through on this. So we've got it here. Now what you can do, if you want more of a bend, it's up to you. If you're going to be using, for instance, foam tape on this, you might want more curvature on it than I've got here. You can sort of shape out. If you're going to do it this way, do it slowly and just sort of tap on it a little bit until it goes, because what you don't want to do is just crush it. So you're just manipulating the paper. When we're doing that, we're getting those fibres to bend, and eventually they will adhere to the bending that we're giving them. It's sort of paper sculpting 101. So I'm going to place this in, and I'm just going to pop it at the front, just down here, using pin flare so I get some rays on it. So plenty of this inside.
Hi to all of you on Facebook. Tammy Channon says good morning. Christine Harrison says stunning as always. Sandra Munning said I'm late. You've made it in the end, that's the main thing.
To a very important date.
Yes.
So I'm just placing that on as that front decoration. Then I'm going to go in with my water bottle. This is a dream for shaping because of all the cut lines, because we've got so many beautiful cut lines, such generous cut lines. And when we're talking about paper sculpture, if you look at the cut lines that go around the edges here, and then the cut lines that go down, and then you've got those central ones, they're important. What I'm getting is a relief on my paper round the edge and down the middle, and that means that when I'm shaping it, I can get that full dome. So where I take my ball tool, which one am I going to use? I'll go for this one. So as I work round, I'm going to follow that cut line that comes round. So first down here, see how it's, I don't know if you can see it, it's just giving a little bit just round here, and those cut lines allow that to happen.
So satisfying to do as well, and it makes such a difference having dimension on your.
It does. Just
follow
those cut lines that Nick's given us.
May Bryan says, thank you, code's work now. There you go, May, sorted. Sorry about that.
Glitches.
Yes. Hi, Taz.
I will just say, if they are ever struggling with the code that we're giving them, because, you know, there's always gremlins in the website, with any website.
Yeah.
Use your newsletter if you really...
Okay, yep. If in doubt, use the newsletter code. If you haven't got that, just call customer services or message them, and we should get it sorted. But yeah, sometimes there's a glitch.
Make sure you sign up to the website to get that code.
Good point. Yeah, sign up for the newsletter. Free.
So I'm just going to place this one over here. So I'm just long lining the bottom piece, raising the height. So I've got my big yellows here, and so I'm raising the height in the middle, otherwise I'm going to get very, very heavy over this end. I am going to place a mouse in here, and that's going to balance out because I'll have a mouse at this side too, so I'm working in opposites. But the reason I'm using this at this side and not at the edge is if I place this, it's more bulky than the mouse, and because I've got that, it'll look very heavy at one side, so I need to be able to make sure that shapes in a different way. So now I'm going to go for my two little Mises.
I love these chaps. They're like Laurel and Hardy, aren't they?
They're so busy. Look at their tummies. They're just ridiculously cute. Starting from the outside of that tummy and just working round through his bottom. And then down his little snout, around his head. Shaping his ears.
And remember, this collection is exclusive to Carnation Crafts TV at the moment. You won't find this anywhere else. This is what we do every second Monday of the month normally. We issue a brand new collection you can't find anywhere else, and you're buying directly from Carnation. They will dispatch it the minute that you place your order. That's how quick they are, which is always impressive.
It is. A lot of you have ordered it already. I'll be getting it tomorrow morning. I think that's pretty impressive, yep. Isn't it? So I've got my two mice. I've got them shaping the way they are. I'm going to have him standing in the mud over here because he's obviously very busy with his mud slinging, and then I'll have the other little one sitting below wondering what's going on. Now I can't use pin flare on him because even if I have him sitting at the back with pin flare, because this obviously has holes in it, the pin flare is going to fall through. So he has to be done with wet glue. Now because of that, and because I've shaped him out, normally I'd use pin flare to be able to keep that shape. I don't want him to flatten. But what I'm going to do is stick him to the mud here at the front, and that will allow him to keep his shape, because I'm not pushing it against anything. And, you know, the pin flare, it won't matter as much.
You could have done with those two fellas in your garden last week.
I could have done.
Bit of a helping hand.
Although I think Miss Phyllis and Miss Babs.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. Mice and a cat, not a good combination.
Well, I think Miss Phyllis thinks it's a good combination. So he is there, very excited, with his little tail just stemming out and his feet behind.
He's very proud of himself.
He is. And then this little chap has got absolutely no clue what's going on. Sounds a little bit like me.
I wasn't going to say that. But...
Thanks, Dave.
All right.
And ground him out. And just pop him down. And we have the cutest little box card ever. Gorgeous.
What I love is, yes, we're used to seeing floral cards and that sort of thing, but there's always a point of difference with Carnation. There's always that little quirky sense of humour that you can choose to bring in. If you don't want to use the mice in all your cards, you don't have to. But when you want to have a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke with someone, maybe someone's an avid gardener in the family, it's their birthday, this collection is going to be perfect. I've got to show you, though, some other cards that the guys have done. Janine Dawson's done this one. Now, this archway, obviously it works beautifully well with that doily in the background, almost like a halo around the arch. But as soon as I saw that archway, I thought gazebo, weddings maybe. That would make a lovely wedding card.
Ooh, Wonderful in White.
Yes.
Add in some stuff from the Wonderful in White collection. That'd look beautiful.
This one has been made into almost like a summer house from Sue Dalrymple. Nice one, Sue.
That's
Again, that
beautiful.
third dimensional centerpiece is beautiful, but then you've got, of course, the panels on the side there as well. And you're getting lots and lots of the nesting dies in that archway design as well. And this is really cute and totally different. This is from Fiona Abbott, just making a little, you know, a planter, just a planter decoration. Doesn't have to be a card at all, it could just be an ornament. So the main collection is called Chasing the Sun, okay? And that's what we've all been doing for the last couple of weeks or couple of months. And here's your main shaped card. You've got that beautiful doily. You've then got that beautiful set of archway dies as well. And then you've got your planter, you've got your pot in there as well. You've got your twine, the rope that's been tied up as well. And you've got the words love and hello as well. Then you come on to the pivot head florals. Now, these are the ones that obviously Carla just used in the demonstration. And it's up to you what heads you put on, what stems, how many you put on, how few you put on. And remember, as I said to you before, if I turn this round, all those smaller flowers, they would be a nightmare to do if they were all individual dies. That panel is probably about 20 flower heads in one pass through your machine. So you'll get all of those flower heads come out in literally seconds from your machine. Then we go to the bottom step down there. We've then got Just Keep Digging with the two mice. And you get your piles of dirt and soil as well. You've got your labels there as well, those beautiful ornate labels, and you've also then got your garden accessories with the water spray, the seed packets, the snips, and also, of course, your twine there too. All of that together is coming out at £80.99. Now, there was a problem with the code in the early part of the show. It's been sorted. Apologies if you couldn't get it to work. It's working fine now. Capital C, 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 S, and then 10, okay? That will get you your extra 10% off, which gives you the price of £80.99. Now, many of you like to pay in full, which is absolutely fine. Of course you can. If you'd rather, though, pay with either ClearPay or PayPal Pay in 3, that is an option for you. The big news at the moment, though, is that it's free P&P. It always is if you spend over £50, which you are doing on the collection. But if there's other things that you're thinking, oh, I ordered the collection last night and I want the perfect papers now, you'd normally have to pay P&P for that if you ordered it in a separate transaction. Today, everything at Carnation Crafts is on free postage until midday. So you literally have 2.5 hours until P&P goes back on, okay? So perfect papers, 48 sheets in colorways that match and work with the vignettes, the artwork beautifully. You've now got, of course, the base colors, but you've also got the patterned cardstock in there as well, which is always lovely. 48 sheets, that is available if you would like it for £14.99. It's showing P&P there, but if you order it before 12, you won't be charged any postage at all. 230808. It seems a shame if you go for the main collection and don't get the perfect papers to match with it perfectly. And of course the other thing, which I know lots of you are adding into your order, 30% of the main collection went before we came on air today, and a third of the entire stock of the pop-up planters went before we came on air as well. So these are a great additional investment for you today, because you've got all those planters that could be incredibly three-dimensional, more piles of your dirt, you've got the little labels that you can pop in the plants as well and personalise if you want to. Pebbles.
Can you see the pebbles in the middle die? Yep.
There you go. So there's your pebbles as well.
2-size plant pots as well.
Yep. So that is £39.99 if you would like to order that. Order it separately, order it together with your main collection. It's entirely up to you. But again, if you buy that on its own, it normally would be £2.95 postage because it's under £50. Order it today. Before 12, you'll get it without any P&P at all. So that is the entire collection, which only you can buy at the moment because this is not anywhere else. You know that now the TV preferred partner is Hobby Maker with Carnation Crafts. This will be on there in the future, but nowhere else for the foreseeable future, only exclusively available from us at Carnation Crafts TV.
It's exciting,
It is
and
exciting.
it's Dave. It's
great,
exciting, Davey B. Right, so if you have bought the main collection and you fancy doing something a little bit plain and simple, or clean and simple even, let's have a look at that. What can we do with that? Well, those florals are so powerful. Now we're going to have a look at the, you guys told me what it was yesterday and I've forgotten, iris. Is that right?
Is that the purple one?
Yeah, I think so.
That one?
Yeah. We're going to have a look at that because in all its glory, it's beautiful. And you've seen me using the yellow ones and the little ones. So let's have a look at that one and let's do something very, very plain, very simple. And let's have a look at white space because these florals are so stunning and so beautiful and you get to play your way. So card base cut, just a DL shape. And then we've got the score line, 1/2 inch. Oh, Tricia says, I'm loving this. I think the piggies from Rural Charm would love that mud too. I agree. And they could have a little party with their balloons.
Good idea.
And with the donkey, whose name I've forgotten. Oh, God.
Eeyore?
No, that was, no.
No.
No, but there is, I can't remember what the donkey was called from Carnation. Look at these. Isn't that pretty?
Pattern papers.
It looks like wallpaper. It's so beautiful, really, really pretty. So we're going to go in with this. Now I'm going to cool the tones down, but I am using a pale green for this. All I want is a hint of a tint. So I'm going to place that. I've got my slip and slide, place it roughly where I can, without leaning over, where I can see it's about central. Push, pull.
I never get tired of watching you do that.
I'm never going to stop doing it either.
I know.
It's become a habit now. I do, even if I'm making my own cards, it's literally how I do it. It's just the easiest way. Mallory, Karen Richardson, I love you. Thank you. Mallory was the donkey. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Oh, look, I'm bleeding and I've got blood on the card. Well, it makes a change from having a bit of Miss Phyllis. I apologise. So we're just going to place this down. I'll try not to get any more blood on it.
Oh, you normally get Miss Phyllis's hair, don't you?
Yeah,
Fur.
Miss Phyllis's hair and fur, but this time you're getting a little bit of my blood. I've poked myself with my pokey tool. I apologise.
Those pokey tools are lethal things.
It's the joy. Right, let's have a look at this iris. So we have this floral. Now it comes in little pieces. And in the next demonstrations, I'll show you how to build it from scratch. But I've obviously got this one made because I'm hoping to get 3 demos done for you in this first show. But it comes with sort of this little feather piece that's at the back and then the little V shape. And then you've obviously got the bigger purple shape at the front. I will show you this full thing. And then you've got the little triangle. So you build it how you want to build it. You choose it. I've done it in that formation. We can decoupage up. We can shape out. We can do so much with this. If you start to look at the dimension that's on there, this is Vera's. Thank you, Vera. You can start to see how that pulls out and pulls forward.
I love the way she's put the little dewdrops there as well.
I know. She's a very
Gorgeous.
talented DT member. Is our Vera. Just beautiful, beautiful cards. But you can see how we can work through and change all the pieces. We can add in decoupage elements and we can build. So I really, really love that. I'm going to try not to get blood on the DT's cards. Right, so I've got this here. And I'm going to start shaping. Now, obviously, mine's glued together. You can shape before you glue. You could shape the pieces independently. Would I advise it? In some ways, yeah, because you're going to get the bulk where the glue has all come together. In other ways, only if you are going to be very gentle. Because if you you know, shape one out too much and the other not so much, you might struggle putting it together. So my advice, get it all together and just very gently go in. Now my main point that I want to have shaped is this bottom piece here. So this is the piece I'm going to work on the most. So I'm going to go around the edge.
Just had a stock update, by the way. 1/3 of the entire stock of Chasing the Sun has gone.
Wow.
40% of the planters has gone. We're very busy on the website, so please bear with us. And remember that discount code CCCS10 is now working fine.
And then I'm going to go through with the feathered piece that sits at the top. And then just on those little wings. The attention to detail that Carnation go to is just phenomenal, isn't it?
There's no other company like Carnation.
There isn't. There really isn't. So now I've got this beautiful individual shaping on all of those elements, which is going to allow it to really pop. And that's what we're after. We want that playway. So I've got my stems here, and I've got this lovely long line coming through. And I've got this leaf. Now I'm not going to use the leaf to put the flower on. I'm going to place, look at that. Just look at that.
Just that on its own is gorgeous.
Isn't that stunning? Isn't that just beautiful? Like, this is what Carnation do so well. So I've got my little grass pieces here. So I'm going to first of all place this roughly central. I'm just going to cover that. La, 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 la. Where there's a will, there's a way, Mr. Davy B.
I mean, the good thing is as well, you can actually kind of put all of your elements down and make a composition before you actually decide where to put the glue and where to stick it. So you can see what looks right and what doesn't.
You absolutely can. Right, let me place that through. Make sure that's stuck, and then I'm going to lift the stem, if I've put enough on there. Make sure this is done at the bottom.
And to be fair, this card could be for a happy occasion or a sad occasion, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that goes for most of Carnation stuff, doesn't it? Just get my point of
You probably wouldn't put the mice on a sad occasion card, to be honest.
That's true.
But flowers, definitely.
Right, now I'm going to go in with this first. I want it to curve in the same way as the leaf. I think that's so stunning. Just as a composition piece, I think that is so beautiful. And
it's lovely to have the leaves lifted a little bit as well, isn't it? Giving you a shadow.
You could go in with a ball tool and shape every single one of those leaves as well. So I'm just going to place that onto here, and I'm following that line as far as I can. And then it'll go off on its own. Okay, so you'll get this curve here. So we're following it up, and then it'll curve off, and that's what I want. That's what I'm after. I've got my gorgeous, gorgeous flower head here. Now I need to fill the bottom with pin flare. I can't go much higher on the other elements, but I can do what I can.
Hi to Caroline Smith. Just got in touch on Facebook. She's watching at the moment. Hi to everybody watching, whether you're in the UK or abroad. We're live at 9:45.
Just following through on that so that it sits.
Wow.
Look at the pretty. Now I'm very heavy over this side. I'm full aware I need to bring something down. And so the way I'm going to do that is to add in these shorter stems.
By the way, the glue applicators that Carla's using, really handy. Pack of 100. They're on the website, free P&P at the moment. Stock up.
They're a right little corkers. I love them.
Yeah.
And then I've got these as well. So you can see how we can start shaping out, putting. You can choose your different areas. We can play in different ways. How do you want to build it? Now, one of the things that I want to use is that twine, and I'm going to use it as a rope, as a bow. So I can choose where I want that to go, and that's going to then decipher where I have my next grass line. Where do I want it? What will make sense in the composition? Because obviously I don't want things to get too heavy. So for me, I can see instantly at this point, this is going to need to be down that side, and that's going to need to be raised.
Yeah, that balances it up, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's just the way we play, and it's just the way we choose to work. So I'm just going to place that here. The joy of having mirrored vignettes is, of course, we can make those kind of decisions. So I can place that there, just so it touches that edge. See how I've got about the same distance here, near enough to there. So we're just balancing. And then I'm going to take this. The first thing I'm going to do is just break those fibres with my pokey, and then get my ball tool, and I'm going to follow Nick's shading lines, just running through. And we're going to create that beautiful dome straight down the middle here. See how we dome, and we it's so satisfying, isn't it, as it goes. So then I'm going to hold my midline. I'm going to use the cut lines that go down that midline and just pull and pull. And that will give me that beautiful bow. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not putting any adhesive on this center point. All of it is going here because I want those to raise and that to sit flat. You could put wet glue on there, and I'll show you what I mean. If you put a little bit of wet glue just in that section, as you push down, that will obviously adhere, and these will move out even more.
Also, using the pin flare, when that dries rock solid. So if you're putting it in an envelope in the post,
yeah,
it will support it. So
So then, just from a composition level, looking at where I'm going to place it and hopefully not drop it, I think probably about there.
Oh, Sandra,
so first thing.
Sandra Murphy says, morning, Dave and Carla. I am a new converted carnation crafter.
Ah, yay.
Excellent. Welcome to the clan.
So we've got this where this raises. Can you see the shadow that comes underneath where it rises up? And that is a really clean, simple, beautiful card.
So stylish.
Made from this collection. Don't be scared of white space. I always say to you as well, we need to ground things out. But when we're creating something that is, I suppose, more contemporary in that way, so long as we put all of our pieces at the bottom together without it being messy, you see how, you remember the old, in encyclopedias, you would get the flower drawings and those kind of things. It's got that feel to it. It's really pretty. And we can baseline it by putting all of our little elements together at the bottom and allowing the flow up the card. So, beautiful.
In a nutshell, this collection, you can make it as busy and as fun as you want it to be, or also, you can make it as simple and as stylish as you want it to be. It lends itself to both sort of looks. I mean, this one here, for example, Janine Dawson's done this. This is fully loaded. I mean, there's so much going on in there and it's beautiful for it. But if you just want to do a simple, stylish one bud card, then you can do that equally as well. But that is gorgeous. Using those planter dies, remember. Bearing in mind the planter dies are actually in the lead. That is a 40% sell-through at the moment on the planter dies if you want those. And think about, you know, other dies that you've got in your collection from Carnation that would equally work brilliantly with these planters. So you can put them one in front of the other. This one's got about 2 or 3 in front of each other actually to make a lovely 3-dimensional scene. And again, equally, if you just want to do something very, very simple, Janine's done this one as well, completely the opposite there, just a lot of white space, a lovely sentiment stamped on there, and then just a few plants or flowers in that pot. So yeah, there's lots of versatility with this. Now the big news today is you've got free P&P. You might think, well, it's normally free P&P on the main collection if you spend over £50. That's true, it normally is. But it's free P&P with Carnation on absolutely everything. It's been a weekend promotion that ends in about 2 hours and 10 minutes time. So if there's things like Pro Paper that you want, if there's things like everyday glue applicators, anything at all from the website that you're running out of that you need, the perfect papers, if maybe you bought the collection last night but didn't get the perfect papers, but today you want to do that because you've seen them and love them, no P&P until midday today. So use the website, go to carnationcrafts.co.uk. Normally the vignettes would be there when we launch a die collection. We do it the day after now, so that everyone can get through to actually place their order for the collection. So the vignettes, the artwork for all of this will be available for you to print off as of tomorrow. So first thing Tuesday. Okay, I think we've got enough time for one more quick demo.
Yeah, we're going to go big. We're going to do an 8x8, and so we're going to look at it in that range. When we come back in the next show, I will be working with the archway, so you can see that as well. I'm hoping to get as much out today so you can see all of the elements come together. So on your 8x8, we're scoring at 1/2 inch, red liner tape there, and we're just going to obviously do what we do. So we're going to fold that towards our body, shuffle, place it down, push, and we've got the card base all set. And then we're going to go in obviously with our mats and layers. So I'm working with more than usual as such. So I'm going in with 2 colours and I'm going to cool those tones. And that's going to give me a really beautiful stage that I'm building on the inside of here to show off Carnation's artwork. So just placing
Love that
on.
colour.
I know, isn't it beautiful? I can't quite describe it, but it's
kind of a light duck egg.
Yeah, it's really pretty, beautiful, very delicate colour. I love a good self-tapping.
I'd love walls in my house like that. Actually.
Yeah, right. It'd be really nice, wouldn't it? Especially if you think of white skirting boards and stuff.
Yes,
just beautiful.
very classy.
So I'm just going to place that.
Do you know what? I'm so glad they do pattern papers now as well.
I know. It's been such a bonus. I'm so glad they went that way because it just adds a little something. I love that. I think that's such a nice. That'd just look nice in a frame. I've got to tell you. But we are going to cool it. We're going to cool those tones, and I'm working with a 3mm foam tape here, so I'm not going super chunk, but chunky enough. You know, I like my chunky cards. So I'm just going to take this, place it on top, and we'll go about there. Push, pull. Right, so we're going to play with the whimsy. We're going to have a look at the whimsiness of this whole collection. True Carnation style, what we love. We love. They just do it so well. So mud piles. Why would anybody want a mud pile die? Well, first and foremost, it tells a story. Second of all, more importantly, it offers me a grounding device that is incredibly important. Grounding devices are the things that allow our cards to make sense. They just give us that extra bit of something.
And I don't know of any other, I might be wrong, but I don't know of any other card making company like Carnation that would think of putting mud into a collection. But it makes all the difference. It gives it reality.
It does. It makes sense. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to shape this out a little bit on the bottom, but not too much. Let's have a look at playways. If I take my ball tool, I'm not shaping much. I don't want too much of a lift on it, and I certainly don't want the bottom lifted. It's my grounding device. I want that flat. But I will just work with the top piece, just around there. Same on the other side. Now remember, I want two opposing pieces at this point. So I've got that one there. I need to make sure that this one is shaped on this side of it so that when I turn it over it makes sense. Just on the top and follow that round. That's all I'm doing on those two. Now I'm going to use a little bit of pin flare on these two, and then I'm going to use foam tape on the next one. Why? Well, because I want some height on the next one. So if I place this here and pin flare this in, just light lined. I don't want too much. I don't want them sitting too far forward, but I do want some shadow because I want to give the idea of distance happening.
And do remember, we're here for 3 shows today. So we're back at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock this afternoon. So if you are going for the collection, make sure you watch the shows live to get more inspiration as to how to use it.
My aim is that by the end of today, you will have seen all of the elements in the cards. That's my aim. That's my goal. Right, let's go through. We're shaping this one quite a lot. I'm not worried about the bottom this time because I have got my grounding device already, so I can work my way through. And follow it around and pull that ball tool along that bottom edge, and it will create that lift as it goes up. Okay, so we're just pull your ball tool, and I've got that beautiful curvature here which I really love.
Pauline Errington's just messaged on Facebook to say that she's ordered the planters, the mice and the florals. So you can cherry pick what you want from the collections if you want to, with free P&P too. So yeah, order as much or as little as you want.
Right, I just need to make sure that's not too thick for the piece that I'm putting down. I don't want it overhanging, and I don't want you to be able to see it from the other side. So we're just going to take that. Now, the great thing about foam tape is that we can, on the whole, shape it. So I am just going to pull that round, and then I'll find my point of adhesion just with a slight push. I don't need the whole thing to stick down, but if it does, that doesn't matter either. I'm just gaining some height. So I'm just going to place. And I've got a little bit of distance between those. Okay, just a little bit of umph. Now I can tuck things. Now I can play, I can choose, and I can do what I need to do. The first thing I'm going to do is these. Now we're running out of time, so I'm not going to shape everything with the ball tools, but we've already done these. So use your finger, rock. Okay, just rock it round, just gently. And then you can start just shaping. I don't want them to be flat. Same again.
Have you realised, Carla, I've actually got the messages up on Facebook without the help of Taz today?
Well, Mr. Dave, I didn't like to say anything because I didn't want to jinx it, but I did notice Miss Taz.
Normally, every time I'm here, I have to get Taz to actually play with my iPad because I can never get the messages up. But I've got them
every
today.
time.
Hey.
I don't think it's ever happened. This is the first one. So we're just going to place some pin flare, and I'm going to tuck just behind. I've got my grounding device, so I just want that little flow line coming over. And the reason that I want that is because these are going to slightly topple. So again, just placing in. And final one. Now this one we can play. And I'm going to have this one facing in the opposite direction, just resting. So they're toppling, okay? You've got that kind of, you know, they've been stacked kind of feel. Let's make sure that one is down there, like so. Same again here. And this time I'll place through. This one, I think, I'm just going to have just tucked behind. We're giving the idea of kind of perspective, as if we've got things at the fore. Let me get some more of this. Finally, centre line shape, just gently.
So just to clarify the free P&P side of things, if you're in the UK and you're spending £25 or more, it is free P&P. If you're in the US and you're spending $50 or more, it's free shipping and handling for you. Okay, so that's just to clarify any confusion about the free P&P. That ends at 12 o'clock today, by the way.
So now that one sits mighty far forward. Look at the shadow play on it, and that's what we want. We want that extensive shadow. And then I'm just going to shape these out real quick because we are running out of time, Mr. Dave.
We are.
But I won't be long.
The kettle is on.
It would be if my errant children were not on their computers. They might have done it for us. You never know. They're enjoying their summer holidays.
Absolutely.
And then just bring their tummies.
How many mice are there in the collections now that Carnation have done? Quite a few in different scenarios and different...
We should do like a potluck thing where you guess. And
yeah.
Can you remember how I used to count Smarties in jars?
Yeah.
We should do one of those.
But I mean, I'm thinking that if you've got other mice characters from previous collections, you can bring these into this collection as well, use these in other collections. Everything works together.
Now, I'm just going to pin flower on his tummy, and I'm just going to pop his feet in there. And then he's going to have a little piece of mud flying off his shovel, so follow your line.
Now, Terry's asked a question here. I'm not sure what the answer is actually. About scan and cut. She says, will it cut out your flowers if you don't have a die cutting machine?
No.
It won't.
Because you don't have the right lines on your vignette, because it's a different vignette for scan and cuts.
Right, got you.
So he's looking very confused because the mud keeps falling on his head and he doesn't know why, and it's because this chap's digging and they're having all the fun. And then we're just going to baseline in some flowers into some areas down here. So I've cut this down a little wee bit. That's going to sit inside, push it down, add a little bit of adhesive just on the bottom of this, and then I can work my flowers out to be whatever I want them to be. All
right, we're busy this morning. 40% of the entire collection Chasing the Sun has gone, and half the stock of the planters has gone as well, which is a separate item. So you can buy either the whole thing or you can cherry pick what you want. And remember, if it's over £25 spent in the UK, it's free postage. If you're spending over $50 in the US, it's free shipping and handling for you as well. So,
which is pretty good going, right?
Really good.
So we're just putting some florals in, and then I just want a little bit of height to go up at this side. But look how beautiful we create. It's so easy with Carnation, isn't it? You have this sense of ease all the time. A little bit of greenery growing through these.
Would you trust those fellas to do your gardening for you? I don't know.
More than I'd trust myself to do it. They have more of a chance of getting it right than me, Dave.
You and me both.
Have you ever seen me try to name the florals? So we're just putting in little elements of this wild garden just flowing through. And these two errant mice who have got no clue what they're doing. Which all sounds very familiar. Just placing in, nearly done. Nearly sorted. So I'm just going to add a little bit more so I get some sort of thickness here.
It's amazing the difference those leaves actually make. Those
I know, it gives it that wild look, doesn't it? It's super, super sweet. But there's something about the different elements using, and this is why we raised this up, because I can put little pieces behind, and I'm giving myself more tuck lines, and I'm allowing myself the chance to kind of build, which is just a really lovely thing to do. I'm going to put a little couple of flowers. I'll pop one that's just poking out of that flower pot there, just as a little added piece, and one more that will just be growing. Maybe let's go over here. You get those little florals coming through.
There you
Something super, super sweet. That lovely white space at the top, which really makes that mud pop at the bottom. A lovely little card for any gardeners in your life, and actually for any celebration pieces. It's just super, super sweet. really, really gorgeous.
Now, I know that loads of you look forward to the second Monday of each month for the new collection. This is it today. It's called Chasing the Sun. You can watch back this show anytime during the day and in the days and weeks to come if you want to, but we're going to be back live at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock this afternoon with 2 more live shows, more demonstrations, more interaction on Facebook, and yeah, get in touch, say hello. But make sure you purchase before midday if you possibly can to get the free P&P on £25 UK spends or more, and $50 UK spends or more is free shipping and handling for you as well. But have a little look at the website, carnationcrafts.co.uk, put the kettle on once you've ordered, and we'll see you back with more live demos at 11.